When it comes to marketing, the success of any campaign that you put together relies on your ability to put your message in front of targeted, mission-appropriate families. Now, sounds easy, right? But it's not always that simple. And in this video, I'm gonna share with you how you need to refocus your marketing strategy so that you're always putting your message in front of the ideal families in your community. And before we get into the content today, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you get notified whenever we create new videos just like this one. Hey, Clint Losch here, Director of Marketing Operations at Independent School Management. And I want you to think about your community, your entire community of families that you could be marketing to. And I'm going to represent your community with this big circle. So think about your community here. This is everybody that you could essentially market to get them to inquire or come on campus. Now, I'm gonna draw a smaller circle here, and I want you to think about these families as the ones that are ready to make a decision now about where they're gonna send their child to school. Now, what a lot of schools do, a lot of marketers do, is they spend a lot of their time marketing to this group that we're gonna call the Today families, so TF, the Today families. Now, obviously you can see, of your entire community, this is a very small portion of folks that you can market to. This actually represents about 3 to 5% of the total folks that you can market to that are frankly, they're ready to essentially quote unquote buy now. They're ready to come on campus. They're ready to make a decision. Now, the problem with marketing to these folks is that frankly, everybody else is marketing to this group as well. So if you think about what your campaigns look like and sound like, if they all sound like come to an open house today, come on campus today, inquire today, then all of your focus is on the folks that are ready to make that decision today, which again is only a small percentage of that overall population that might be considering a private school education at some point in the future, a year, 2 years, 3 years from now. So I want to draw a bigger circle right now. And before we talk about the inner circle, because this is really the fertile soil where you want to be planting your seeds with your marketing campaign, you have this outer group, right? We're going to call these the NF families. These are the never families. These are the families that they're not going to send their child to a private school for whatever reason, right? They're just not. But ultimately, you don't want to market to this group either. But if you are doing any sort of traditional advertising, maybe it's in magazines, print, radio, on billboards, as you know, that's very expensive marketing dollars being put to work, but it's not very targeted. So as a result of those, let's call them billboards and radio advertisements, there's a lot of folks in there that fall into this never family crowd. So the beauty is, in today's digital world, we can be super targeted with our message and who we're putting that message in front of. So where you need to refocus all of your marketing is on this bigger group of people that we're gonna call the future families. Again, mission appropriate for your school. They might be considering a private school education at some point in the future. You want to direct all of your marketing efforts to these families, because if you do, one, you are going to capture the Today families, the ones that are ready to make a decision now. But you're going to be planting the seeds so that when those families are ready to make a decision about where they're going to enroll, apply, they're going to be thinking about your school. Now, the question is how we do this, right? So I think this is very easy to see that we want to market to the bigger group of people to create a bigger pool for us to market to in the future. A whole lot easier, a lot more targeted, a lot more cost effective, right? It's a whole lot easier to market to people that know who you are, that's the warmer audience, as opposed to always marketing to cold people, getting new people in. You probably, if you've ever done that, you probably feel like you're on the marketing hamster wheel where every single year you're just trying to fill the bucket, fill the open houses with new people, new people, new people. If you start filling this future family bucket, it's like the fish in a barrel analogy. You're gonna have a smaller pond to fish in when it comes to any one of your marketing campaigns, okay? So this is where we wanna focus on the future families, but the question is how? So right now, I wanna give you 2 strategies on how you need to be constructing all of your marketing campaigns to target the future families, but also capture the today families as well, while also making sure we're not marketing to the quote unquote never families, all right? So here are 2 strategies that you can use. One is the development of content. All right, we've all probably heard the term content is king. It is nothing new, but here's what is new and here's what you need to know. This is vitally important. It's this number, 70%. I want you to keep that number in your head, 70%. 70% is what all the research right now is telling us, that folks that come on campus, that finally talk to somebody in your admissions department, by the time they actually talk to somebody at your school, 70% of their mind is already made up about where they're going to apply and enroll. And if you think about why that is, it's actually very simple. It's because of our access to information. Think about your website, social media, review websites, the Facebook groups with other parents talking amongst each other. They don't need to come on campus necessarily to learn about your school. So if you're saying to yourself, once we get them on campus, we do a really good job of showing off our school. You can't take that approach anymore. You need to be showing off your school, your campus, your portrait of a graduate in your content. You need to be answering the questions that are going on in your parents' mind while they're researching through your content, so that by the time they do come on campus, they are just looking for confirmation of what they already know. All right, so content is king. Content, frankly, is more important than ever right now. All right, and it's because of our access to information. So if you're not consistently producing content, you need to, and that content needs to be focused on, why do families enroll at your school? Why don't they enroll at your school? Do you have a lot of competition with public schools? You may not want to talk about the public schools, but guess what? Parents are considering public versus private. Parents are considering private versus homeschool. You need to create content that talks about the value of your school versus the other options. Okay, maybe you're at all boys or all girls school. You need to talk about the value of a single sex education, because if you're not, they might be drawing conclusions in their head that you don't want them to. So talk about the mission of your school, your portrait of a graduate, talk about how great your faculty is, talk about why parents attend your school. Okay, so content. Now, to piggyback on content, the second thing that you really want to try to create is called a lead magnet. Now, we have other videos on lead magnets, so I encourage you to take a look at those as well. But ultimately, what a lead magnet is, it is something of value that you give away in exchange for a parent's contact information. Because right now, as you're watching this video, there are parents on your website, leaving your website, and you're likely never going to hear from them again if you don't capture their contact information. And they're likely not ready to inquire just yet. So if you create something to give away in exchange for their email address and their name and maybe the age of their child, then you can start building a database of families to market through, whether it's through email marketing or social media or through retargeting ads. But this is how you start to build that database of future families, so that even if they're not ready now, maybe they are ready 6 months, 12 months, 24 months into the future. And if you have them on your email list, fans of your social media page, you can continue to get your message in front of those families. So an example of a lead magnet might be 19 questions that you need to answer to find the perfect school for your child, right? And really that's just a bulleted list of 19 questions to ask, right? Maybe it's 12 reasons why an all-girls education is perfect for your child, right? So think about the type of content that you can create, put that into a PDF or even a video and put it on what's called a landing page, have people give you their contact information to get that. And now they're in your system, now they're in your ecosystem, and it is so much easier to market to them in the future. If this is a totally new concept to you, again, I encourage you to take a look at some of our other videos on building lead magnets. So to recap and really break that down, again, what you want to do is, of this circle of people that you can be marketing to, you have your today families, you have your future families, and your never families. You want to start creating content, create a lead magnet to focus your attention on this bigger group of people, the future families, and in your content, call out what does a mission appropriate family look like, so that the folks that are consuming this content, giving you their contact information, there's a good chance that they are your mission appropriate families that you want to continue to market to now and in the future. They're the ones that you want them to inquire and come on campus. But it all starts with your content and directing that content to those future families. You know, if you like what you heard and you want to keep up with the latest marketing and missions and fundraising strategies, head on over to go.isminc.com/academy20. This will take you to our 2020 Advancement Academy page, and if you're not familiar with the Academy, it's an immersive 5-day professional development experience designed to strengthen and align your school's marketing, admission, and fundraising strategy. And if you have been to the Academy before, we actually have 16 brand new sessions this year that you are not going to want to miss. On this page, when you scroll down, click on the Schedule tab. And so this way you can see the full lineup of sessions, including all of the new sessions we have this year, such as admissions funnel forensics and mastering inbound marketing. And when you click on the links, this will give you a description of what you can expect to learn in that session. And one of the things that makes the Academy so unique and one of the most transformational professional development opportunities available is the mentorship. It is the mentorship, and you will be given an expert mentor to guide you every step of the way to help you select sessions that are ideal for your goals. And your mentor is actually going to help you build your action plan so that you're going to be able to return back to campus with an implementable plan. And one of the great things about all ISM workshops is if you are not satisfied with your event for any reason, ISM will give you a full 100% refund, no questions asked. And last thing, one thing you need to know is that we cap the Advancement Academy at 110 participants. And this workshop sold out last year by April. So if you like what you see and you want to make sure you get your spot reserved, you can learn more about the Academy and how to register at go.isminc.com/academy20. Thanks so much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in Philadelphia for this year's Advancement Academy.